All right, guys, we are back from our break. Sorry about that. We are here and on our way. Forgive me, I misrepresented some information. I checked it out on our break, and it's not House Penthrew. It's actually the Asesh family.
Okay.
I was
Because I put it this
I looked at the information, but I was reading it from the wrong line, and then in the break, Mark was like, "Wait a minute, wasn't it the Asesh family?" I was like, "Oh shit, you're right. You're right though."
Can you spell that?
Yeah, I
It's
almost
actually
wanted to say that
it's at the
earlier,
very
but I
top.
wasn't sure where you were going with it.
Check out the
Yeah,
check out
we
the
have
top
it.
notes.
We have it in our notes. It's literally the first entry.
Very first entry by Ryu, Asesh family.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Wants
right
to
at the top.
find it. Oh fuck!
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me add this additional stuff.
Can she roll again?
I mean, if some other new information jogs her memory, then yeah. But based off of what she had before, because she didn't want to push the wisdom roll.
I'm gonna like
Oh,
flick her ear or
I mean,
something.
if you wake up,
but you were asleep.
if something jars
if I
you
wake
awake,
up, I'm fucked. As soon as I show my face.
well, I mean, he's not gonna be like he's gonna be walking ahead of you guys, right? He's not gonna turn around specifically like how much he cares about both of these characters. He's like, all right, so we got Neff and Donkey. That's literally he's like, all right, Neff and Donkey, let's go. Like he doesn't frankly give a shit.
I was gonna say I don't think he's grokked like at all. Does he even know I have something on my back other than like I'm a hunchback or something? Right? He
No.
might not even know.
No, I mean you guys also have backpacks, right? You have backpacks with adventuring gear and stuff like that. So, he doesn't frankly care. Like you've got stuff on you. As long as you're not there to attack him, which he's probably pretty confident that he could take you guys in this fight, at least until he saw Yoda on your back. Then it would probably kick it up a notch. So, Neff, Donk, Ronan. You're moving through the streets of Wati. You have vacated the Mend, passing through the Asp before making your way to the Asesh family home. Do you have anything that you would like to ask or say, or anything at all?
Tell Neferani. Well, it's your last chance. You can go to the temple.
No,
And-
we have to. We can go after. We have. I want to make sure that he's okay first.
Okay, that's it.
As you're speaking here, I'm gonna give him a listen here just to see. At his level there. I'm gonna reroll it. I use one of my rerolls, and I crit fail.
Cool.
Perfect, great, gotcha. I know even less.
He
Wonderful.
He didn't hear shit.
Nope.
Left.
I unfortunately only have one luck reroll left, and I'm not going to use it on that listen. So he doesn't overhear you. There is no immediate information regarding what you might be talking about. He has no fucking care in the world. Staying far enough ahead of you, you see that people are sort of like weaving in between you at this point. You continue to push forward. You'll make it there within 20 to 30 minutes. He's moving at a fairly leisurely rate. He has no idea that you're moving on a time frame or a schedule. So he doesn't frankly care that someone is injured, largely because he doesn't know. He may have noticed when walking in that the room probably stinks a bit, but I mean, for all he knows, that you guys are just regular peasants of the Asp, so you may just be naturally smelly. Especially since you're patting your shoulder and there's like strings of moisture coming off your shoulder. It's a little strange for him, but he doesn't ask questions.
I don't look poor.
Hashtag humble brag, don't look poor.
And you're handsome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Incredibly so. You are incredibly handsome. Additionally, like, so is Neferani. The two of you are a charismatic duo from hell. You could probably talk the pants out of just about anyone in town.
Sick.
So, let's put you in the right sort of mindset here. Let's play the proper tunes. Passing through the bazaar, moving your way through the Asp, you know that the further that you move south, the more that you will find. You're getting closer and closer and closer to a particular pasha's home, a place of residence, if you will. But you veer off. You veer off to your right, which would be the west. You start breaking your way past the Church of Pharasma, the Grand Mausoleum, before inevitably passing by the grave pools, the onion yard, and moving into an incredibly large home. The compound itself is surrounded by a sandstone gate, very tall, not as tall as the necropolis, bear in mind, but tall enough that it would be challenging to a common criminal. Additionally, the amount of guards that walk this place is impressive, to say the least. They either have quite a bit of money or they're desperate to protect something internally. As you continue to move forward, he passes through the gates. The guards recognize him immediately, and as they begin to step in your way, Decad motions back. No, it's fine. They're with me. They have come to see Terran. And the guards immediately step out. They don't even pay you any mind. As you enter the yard to this grand estate, he turns back. I was never told why. Why you wanted to see Terran Legaeus. Not that I'm particularly interested in the woman, but what would peasants have to do with Terran and coming directly to the home of the Asesh family?
Well, it'd be more or less peasants and more the adventuring types. She was supposed to join us in the necropolis at one point, and we have some information for her that is time sensitive.
Interesting. Not really. It's not really that interesting, but that's fine, I suppose. Well,
Love you.
Love you too, buddy. Well, if you give me a moment, I will fetch her. And then I think we're done here, right? Do you need anything else? Like, just don't draw any weapons. Don't accost the guards. Don't try any magic either. They're quick to respond to that.
And don't talk to the owner's daughter.
Hey, you got it. He remembers. This is the face of a man who's keeping his balls. Well done. I'll be back in a moment. He steps away. Something about him feels very off. He doesn't quite fit the theme of Wati. You can tell that he is definitely not from around here. Where he's from, you're not sure. But something hangs about him. Something lingers on the palate. The way that he talks, the way that he carries some of his syllables, this strong awe, or this hard, like this noise that sort of carries off the way that he speaks. You have heard it, and even recently. More so from the exasperated and tired Ronan. They might be from the same place. They at least offer a very familiar tongue. Ronan still snores from your side.
Donkor remembers everything, but he would assume that at this point, Neferani also remembers, so he doesn't mention anything.
Nef, do you say anything?
Sorry, I say mute. Stop. No, I'm kind of. No, I'm concerned. Like, I'll do another moisture check, make sure my buddy's okay. But
Ryu, give me a 30% range that you do not want.
Oh, 33 up.
Okay.
Fuck.
Would you like to re-roll that?
Yeah.
Same numbers.
Yep, same number.
Okay. Misty. Give me a 30% range that you do not want.
44 up.
Perfect. Mark. Give me a 40% range that you do not want.
1 up.
Ooh. Ooh.
I'm
Ooh.
gonna re-roll that.
Oh. Oh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's the last of my luck re-rolls. I'm out. You'll wait probably 5 or so minutes before he returns. And when he returns, he is accompanied by a woman that you have met before. Donkor, you are familiar with this woman. She's introduced herself to you in the past as Terran Legaeus. She sees you, and her eyes sort of go wide.
It's good to see you again.
Do you remember why she left the room the last time?
Yeah, because of Bossy and is it Bossy and Ronan? Is it Bossy and Ronan said that we were trying to, hit on each other. We were trying to fuck.
You're not wrong. Her eyes go wide, and she looks to see the two of you. Then she looks at Deked. She says, "Are there no more? Or is this just them?"
It's just us. Unfortunately, the other ones that accompanied us, we don't know what happened.
Good. The pommet and the thing. I don't know what it was. The loud thing that exclaimed about the cheese several times was quite grotesque. Quite grotesque.
The loud thing? Oh, my friend. He's here. And I pat his head. That's why we're here.
Deked looks to Terran
Oh.
and then looks to each of you, and then his eyes fall to your shoulder. He takes a step forward. Terran says, "Oh, great. He's here. That's fantastic. How can I be of assistance? What is it that I can do? Please do not be too much." He takes another step closer. Deked moves. This time he moves his hand to his belt. There is a very fancy dagger. It looks like a jambiya of sorts. It's a small curved blade. He's sort of resting his hand on the pommel.
Is that a distinct change in his
Demeanor.
yeah.
Well,
Yes, it is.
Can I roll to note it? Like I roll perception? Or
You notice it. You don't need to roll a perception.
okay.
He's moving in a way that you might not expect him to. He's very broad in this nature, but now he's moving what you might expect out of a very nimble cat. Just like walking on the front pads of his feet. But he's sort of crouched as his eyes train on your shoulder. He's moving visibly in front of the conversation between the two of you and Terran. And you hear him say, "What do you have there?" And he draws the jambiya and he points the hooked end right at your shoulder.
I'm gonna take a step back when he does that and be like, "Excuse me, that's not how we talk to people. Especially ones where they said to treat us well."
I was told to get you here. I was not told to treat you well. Especially if I find out that the people that I'm supposed to guide here are thieves.
We are no such. You have done your job. Then if that is all your job is, then you can leave.
Guards, please step forward. I would like your assistance. If you could, restrain Neferani.
This is not your house. This
I would definitely not push your luck here.
Who, you talking to me?
Yeah.
Talking to him? Oh no. Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to decide here. Trying to decide how much she is.
Go on for until midnight.
Baby, go.
I gotta go.
She's like, how long is this gonna go on? Till midnight?
Maybe.
Maybe.
There will be no restraining.
I don't
I
think
have
you can
done
make that
nothing
call.
wrong.
I suggest, Neferani, please. This is not a man nor a household that we would like to make any scene in.
Oh, yeah, he's making the scene. We just came to talk to you
He
for help, and I look.
simply wants to inquire why we're
I'm going
here.
to look. That's not what he said. Taryn, are you able to assist us?
I don't know what it is that you want. I didn't know that you needed me.
Our friend is injured.
It's
I'm on it because I don't remember who this dude is. He's just got a knife at me, and at this point, I'm kind of like,
He's not like in your face. He's probably 7 or so feet away, and he just kind of
Even
uses it to
still,
poke. He's like,
it-
what is that? And he's kind of pointing at your shoulder.
right with a knife.
Yeah.
though. Right, like that's aggressive. I think that she's sensitive to that sort of thing in general,
Ryu,
and she's feeling very protective about.
give me a perception, Ryu, at a -10.
Oh, Ryu.
He's sleeping, so it
Yeah.
might jar him awake. It's not super hard. Is that a -10?
It's 2.
No, that's not gonna be enough. He's still just head burbling around on your shoulders, drooling everywhere.
I'm gonna actually re-roll that.
Okay. Not a whole lot better.
Yeah, not much better.
Yep, he's still just slack-jawed, drooling. As you continue to back up, the guards are there. You feel their presence. The kid kind of raises his hands. What are you doing, Donkor? What do you have for me?
I think that everyone at this present moment in time should calm down. I can explain why she's so defensive, and I can explain why we're here for Terran. But nothing can be done in such a hostile environment.
Please, there's no hostility. No hands have been bled.
No hands have been bled. I assure you, I would have seen it. But a blade was still drawn, and that definitely puts us on edge. Especially since the last couple of days inside the necropolis, blades have been thrown at us in several different ways. It would be, how do I put this? It would be a favor if you could put that away and speak to us. Especially since tensions are so high.
He looks to you at this point, and his brow seems to drop. He looks almost Cro-Magnon. It's his very cavemanish look. And he turns. I appreciate your pretty words, but this paltry blade is not to harm you. It is merely to protect me. If what I suspect is true is on her back, well, then that's a trained killer. And I am within reason to believe that I have an opportunity to defend myself.
I can assure you that whatever thing is on her back is in no condition to fight back.
Perfect. Perfect. Then he puts the Jembio away. Go on. Show me.
Oh, great.
I continue to look at Taryn. He's partially dead to me.
Sure.
But I'm but the fact that that Donkor has kind of diffused that, I like the hackles that are clearly raised are like lower, and I'll like compose myself and then look back to Taryn and his legs, he's entirely in the back sack, right? He's not like
There's
legs
nothing
hanging
exposed.
and
No.
arms like are he's just kind of tucked in
Yep,
there.
he's swaddled in there like a
Old baby Yoda.
like a girthy 4-year-old.
Right. So I'll like kind of push his thing back, his hood back. Donkor, I think you'll need to remove him from my back because like I can untie him, but he'll need to kind of like catch.
I have
the
no
Ugh.
I have no interest in holding a servant of a god that I don't
Well,
worship.
okay, you don't need to hold him. I just need to he'll drop on the ground if you just like put him
Just wait
down.
a minute. I can get down.
Oh.
And I'm like kind of like rubbing it at my face.
Okay, so don't freak out.
What?
Just don't freak out.
As she says that, you hear a familiar voice. Ronan. Ronan. It's been so long.
Oh shit, where the fuck are we?
You hear a guard behind you. We're in the Asish family compound.
Just be cool. Be cool. Just
No, I'm cool. I'm good.
we're
just-
we're all good here.
Yeah. Seems like how when
Okay. We're just trying to get your leg taken care of. Can you show her, and I'll motion to Taryn, can you show her your leg?
why is he
Injury.
here?
We're gonna work one thing at a time. Right,
You're-
Donkor?
The only thing that I can tell you, Ronan, is right now is not the time to start any fights. If you start any fights, I promise you won't get any more cheese.
I'm just making sure you're not handing me over.
No,
have
we're
no
trying
intent-
to. Sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know why we would be handing you over to anyone. I don't know
Because
what's going
he's
on.
right there,
He's right.
like 5 feet from me.
I
I
am.
wouldn't know
I'm right
who he
here.
is besides the person who guided us here.
And I am the same. It's true. You won't be handing him over. You see, he would have to be yours to hand over. And he's not yours. He's mine.
I'm not following.
I'll reiterate. He's mine. I brought him from the Western lands that you're probably not super familiar with. That's fine. I don't need you to understand. I don't need you to know. But these compounds hired me 2 years prior on a trade. I was supposed to bring them a warrior. And they paid me quite handsomely. I did. But you see, the transport hit a bit of a foul up. Something spooked our guide. A skiff, they said, moving like lightning across the desert, clipped the side of our cart.
And unfortunately, I think I know what that might be.
And upon our arrival, my box, my sword, and my goblin was gone. Now I know that it was all together because I put him there myself. I even attached the sword, too. That was his, a gift from me. His favorite weapon. Now, I assure you, he was as well fed as any pet can be. But he was not going to be mine. He is technically property of the Asesh family. You'll have to work it out with the nobleman.
Then I would love to speak to the nobleman, but first, whoever's property he is, he needs taken care of. But the reason why Terran is involved is because the information that we have about said Ronan, again, I really don't necessarily care of the situation, involves him. And it might be interest to both Terran and maybe even the SS family if they choose to listen.
Interesting. Well, I appreciate that you are willing to bring back something that isn't quite yours. I promise that you will be well taken care of, or at least properly compensated, depending on how the family feels. Hopefully he
I'm
is
sure-
not too maimed.
I'm sure that he could be brought back to health, but I would argue that it would even be even more profitable for both of us if the assessed family agrees to some of the terms that we might have. But again, we'd have to speak about it first. It seems like multiple parties are involved with a single individual.
Well, Miss Legaeus, I believe that you should tend to the wounds of this individual, as it seems that you are the only one that can do just that. For some reason, I didn't know that that was amongst your many talents.
I wasn't aware of either.
She says, it's not. It's not amidst my talents. I'm not sure what you might mean by that, or how I might be able to solve this issue.
I'm honestly not sure either. We visited
We went to a temple that you may be familiar with.
I don't know how familiar she might be with the temple, but it was the Temple of Lamashtu, and I dare say that name. I hate it.
Can I get... Give me perceptions, please, the three of you.
Hey.
Ronan, Neferani, you catch a small, just a small upturn in the corner of her mouth. It's brief. Very, very brief. The guards, the three of you notice, the guards draw their weapons. There's two of them. It's not like they had to draw them that far. They're donned at all times. They're prepared. You never know when you must defend. But you see the upturn of her lip, and she draws her hand immediately. Wait. The guards pause. Biquette has no idea what is even happening. Ronan, you know more than anything that Biquette does not. He is not a religious individual. He's never believed in the nonsense. He's more of a power of the man kind of thing. Sees and believes what he sees. Well, tensions are growing high, would you say? Miss Legaeus, are you finished here? Can you help them or not? I know someone. I believe that I have someone that can help. And she starts to walk forward. She takes a few steps. She looks to each of you, and her eyes sort of widen at you, Donkor. I just hope your information is valuable, because it's going to be costly.
It was extremely valuable.
Ronan, she walks up to you, and with minor hesitation, she lowers her hand. Come with me.
I hesitantly take her hand, but obviously with a gimp leg, I try to keep up as much as I can.
Sure. She slows her pace and continues to walk with you. Give me a perception, Ronan, as she mutters under her breath. Very good. You catch again. I can't believe it's come to this. I didn't want to use this now. This is unfortunate. I knew this was going to come up sooner before later. Do you say anything to her as she's muttering this under her breath?
What do you mean?
She realizes that she's been speaking out. Forgive me. I was weighing the value of what information you could offer, and I might happen to have a favor with the Asesh family in-house cleric.
Like Donkor said, the information is extremely valuable from my perception.
Well, you wouldn't be willing to share it with me now, before we make it to the cleric, would you?
Not before, but after. Sure.
Of course. Why wouldn't you? Smart. Very well. She continues. She takes a few winds, a few steps, and you ascend a few, what you feel like is an unfortunate amount of stone steps. Warm with each step. A shake and a stutter in your back foot. Before you find your way to what appears to be an open and cleansed room. Very much so. It is tiled out. It looks like bits of glass as opposed to like ceramic or smooth stone. There is a table. It looks more like an altar than a table, but you can tell that this is where they have various alchemical reagents meant to treat the injured and the sick. She focuses for a moment and she sort of helps you to the top of the table. I will fetch your physician.
Thank you.
It takes her a moment. She bows and she steps out. Deked and the guards are at the door. He leans against the pillar of the door itself. He's holding on. Seemingly crossed his arms, his weight back on his hip, back to the arch. What you been up to, Ronan? What have you seen this past week or so?
Just making friends, not being enslaved. Yeah. Not killing people. Well, not killing lots of people.
Well, hopefully you haven't lost that edge of yours. It was quite an amazing feat to watch. That's what set you apart. The sunken-in eyes sort of drift back. You notice this room isn't incredibly well lit. Just a few sconces that happen to burn a very interesting color, like orange, like just a flat orange from an ever-burning torch. You notice that it passes this glow over his eyes, and it lets his eyes sink in to the point where you can't even see them. You can just see the orbital bones around it. His nose casting a shadow on the right side of his face from where he leans. He leans forward and he says something to the guard, and one of the guards leaves. What did she mean by there was more of you? How many more? I'm curious.
How many more of who?
Well, how many were traveling with you? Your friends, Nef and Donkey. How many?
I
more
don't
were
know
with
why
you?
this isn't of importance to you. I figured you delivered me, so
Oh, well,
why do you need to know more?
Well, I just have to assure that the trade is finished. You understand, it's a part of the rules of trade. You can't just walk us to the front door. You have to make sure that the one collecting gets their product.
Well, as you can see, I'm not exactly in fine shape.
You're not wrong. You are not in fine shape. So whatever happened to you must have been damn dangerous. I thought I trained you better than that.
Yeah, well, fighting like 2 or 3 orcs at the same time can be pretty dangerous. But, you trained me well.
He kind of nods. 2 or 3 orcs. Weapons?
Oh, yeah.
Swords.
Mm-hmm.
And you had yours.
Oh, no, I had an axe.
You had an axe? Oh, well, now I see why you were injured. You didn't have your sword. What happened to your sword?
It was taken from me by some bad people. You happen to happen to see it around, have you?
No. And he looks to the guard. The guard just kind of shrugs. Who are these bad people?
We went to the bathhouse and we were, how you say, drugged. And our stuff was taken.
He looks to the other guard and he whispers something to that guard, and that guard hurriedly scoots off. So that's where the others were then. The ones you lost.
Maybe.
We'll verify. For what it's worth, I'm sorry that you didn't have your sword. You were always quite skilled with the blade. The axe, not your forte. Didn't have enough balance. All that weight on one end?
You make do.
In that moment, in this brief moment, you have that mild sense of camaraderie. It's like an old friend, even if it was one that you didn't start out on good terms with. The way that it communicates to you is, it's like, yeah, know the perils, know that struggle. Taryn returns, and behind her is a most bizarre figure. She steps out of the way, and the only thing that you can see corporeally is a mask. A mask. The rest of the figure moves in flowy green sinew. It's like a sheet that carries with the wind, but the mask itself is tangible. Two of you have seen this mask before. There was a particular prince's son. The son of the pharaoh happened to have one of these masks. It was adhered to his face for a short time. He steps in, or should I say glides in, and as he continues to float by, he moves up to the table. The mask seems to train upon you. Hand moves down to the table with this very odd, almost hushed carry. It's very strange. And it seems to move amidst various reagents before it draws what looks to be a crude scalpel made of bone, slowly pulling it back to itself. It's almost as if its care is to not drop it. The mask trained upon you, lips never moving, the eyes black and empty. Lie down.
I do so.
Show me what is injured.
Before I show you what's injured, may I have something to bite down on?
The hands draw back for a moment, as if he's considering what it is you're requesting. And he draws forth a series of root. It looks like it's been bound several times with string. And he sort of pushes it in your direction, like he's kind of scooting it across the table.
I grab it and I put it in my mouth.
It's pretty pungent odor, but it's something you are familiar with. It's been like basically it's smoked onion that's been wrapped in like a vinegar like oil, so it sort of keeps it, and it's very, very dense.
Mm-hmm.
This will hurt. You see, as you continue to look down upon the table, the others are watching. Even Deked is watching intently so. Draws the hand down your person, but you can't really feel anything until the bone scalpel hits just below your thigh as it traces down the back of your person. And when it hits, this very crude burn, very, very crude burn that was supposed to have forcibly held the wound together. The bone blade itself turns to the side, and he drags it across the wound. And he didn't lie to you. It hurts. Very much so. Just give me a fortitude save. It's nothing crazy.
Fortitude. Wow.
Good, perfect, yeah. You don't even flinch. You expected this. You predicted the pain. In fact, it was less than you had anticipated. Stoic. You remain silent. The mask turns back to each of you, and then to Deked. There is an infection. I'm not sure how long he's traveled upon this. I need details. Now.
About a day and a half, maybe.
Was the wound cleaned?
With nothing more than water, which is all we had available at the time.
Oh, and potion.
Potions, yeah. It was a messy cleaning, I guess you could say.
What did you burn him with? What caused this burnt scar?
I want to say it was the end of a wood piece that was wrapped in some sort of cloth. This is the only thing we had available.
I think it was the axe that we burned me with. We heated the axe.
I think you heated the blade of the axe.
Yeah, I heated the blade.
Oh, that's right. Ronan reminds me. So it was an axe. The edge of an axe blade.
The cat from the rear side of the room. Whew. That's gotta hurt. Yes, I'm assuming.
He took it better than I thought he would. If it were me, I'd be crying.
What a trooper. There are pustules. I must extract. Bite down.
Ronan bites down as hard as he can.
The blade turns on end, and he makes micro incisions. He doesn't do anything to the wound, he just makes these small micro incisions. I'm hesitating to roll for that. Because it's just small incisions. He looks back to Terran Legaeus. Bring me the cleaning bowl. Now. He sort of barks that last bit, and she steps away quickly. She steps off to another room where she fetches what looks to be a small, almost porcelain or clay-driven bowl that's been cleaned out very much so from inside, but there is a darkened water. You can't really see or make much out of it. But something writhes and moves within the water. It moves the water of its own accord. The hand plunges into the bowl and draws out what looks to be a leech that twists and writhes and turns in his hand. And everywhere that he's made an incision on the leg, he places. You will need to be here a while. I hope you do not have any evening plans.
Oh, just nothing special.
Dickhead pipes up. I'm afraid that I'm going to need him sooner before later, and the figure turns. You will have him when I am done with him, and not a moment sooner. Dickhead raises his hands. Forgive me. Forgive me, Mr. Grim Physician. Continues his work, placing leech after leech on each of these pustules. Each leech will draw the tainted blood. It will also remove sand, anything that had returned. He pauses, he continues, and then he fetches various other reagents, begins mixing them, and then he starts to play it. It's almost like he's moving in some sort of calming massage motion. And it feels nice at first, Ronan. Until there's burn. Give me a fortitude save. This is quite a bit more difficult. You struggle here. You were not expecting this. The incision, not so bad. Drawing the blade over the burn, also not so bad. This is the thrumming from within inside of your skin, like something is attempting to burst out. And though you are trying your best to fight it back, your body, with knee-jerk reaction, kicks out. And you hear him. This time, this order is very, very clear. Lie still! The ever-burning torches in the room darken in that moment that he says that, almost as if it's sucking the matter out of the room itself. Even your breath feels shorter He returns back to smoothing this unguent across the burn. You will lay here for the night. The burn will continue for hours. Whomever told you to come here was right to see me, as I'm the only one, short of direct divination, who could save this leg, and potentially your life. Well done. You found the right person. Well, Ghost. And with that, he turns, and he floats out of the room. Taryn sits idly in the corner. Now, I hope that what you have to offer me is valuable, because that was a favor that I'm afraid that I will not be able to call in often. And by often, I mean ever again. So please, help me understand why you have come.
Is there some place that we can speak, perhaps privately?
Yes, I think so. I do have a personal quarter. If you would, will you be leaving him alone?
I don't think Jaked will kill him in his sleep, or kill him at all. So if Neferani would like to stay or come with, that's her decision. But I believe he's in safer hands at the moment, lying still, healing.
Okay.
Than with me around.
So I'm gonna look then to to Ronan. What do you want? Do you want me to stay?
You can go. I'll be safe here. I trust as much as I can. I just need to lay here and recuperate a little bit.
And I'll look at Taryn's still in the room, correct?
Yes.
Will we be granted entry tomorrow when he is better so that we can continue our discussion?
I am afraid that I cannot know that. That is up to you to speak to the Asesh lead.
And then I'll speak to him if he's willing. Which
Let us
I'm
solve
sure that after our conversation he might be.
Let us solve our piece first. Deked, I trust that you will leave the creature alone. Well, I wouldn't dare cross the Asesh family and their grim physician. You understand, I have a thing with the tangible. It's the intangible that I have a problem with. Can't hit what I can't touch.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I've definitely seen a lot of abnormalities recently. It's weird. Didn't think they existed up until recently.
I've got to know, though, before you head to Miss Legaeus' room. Surely, Ronan told you of me.
He did. He spoke quite highly of you, in fact.
I bet he did.
As I'm sure you know, I'm a merchant. I told you this when we first met, not only maybe a mere hour ago, but not dumb enough to say, oh, I know you. Not dumb enough to say I'll put myself in harm's way. I don't know combat.
Yet you still marched into the Asesh family compound with the one thing they desire.
Well, in an effort to save our own skin, things might be... you might weigh it over another. However, money's also on the line, so... And coin does speak a lot to me.
See? That right there. I know we can work something out. And if we can't, and you try to swindle me, well, I'll just take your tongue.
I'm sure you can ask around the market. I don't swindle very many people. Or people at all.
Huh. I have people verifying that now.
By all means, I'm very proud of my name, or what little it has. I don't know my value in the city, but I do know that I work with a lot.
Well, then hopefully we can continue in at least neutral terms.
I would like that.
It might even might even be on positive terms. We'll see what we can come to.
However neutral or positive I would like. A negative one, not so much. Don't really have very many negatives that I keep around. A joke, again.
I agree completely. I don't have many negatives that I keep around either.
I'm sure you just kill them.
I am befouled by that statement. I do not kill anyone. Ronan did.
Yep.
It was more a sarcastic remark, but again, I'm sure that very many people wouldn't cross you in any shape or form.
Safe assumption. Well then, I bid you adieu until I see you a bit later this evening, I suppose, or maybe on the morrow. Trust, I'll have my eyes on the little guy. Don't worry, he's not going to get far.
Well, considering his leg is still propped up the way it is, I don't think he will with either of our interventions. But I'll see you in the morrow.
He waves it on. And he also steps out of the room, but not far. Taryn leads you to what you believe is the private quarters. She says, come this way. I have a place that we can speak. It's nothing as fancy as this, but it is still on site, and I've never had guests before. This should be interesting. I'm quite excited. She leans in. The kid sort of scares me. I don't know what to think of him, but he seems rather rash. And he's a bit of what I feel like is blood on his hands. Wouldn't you say?
I'm sure there's definitely a lot of blood on his hands, but when you get to a certain level of, oh, well, I guess you could say notoriety, it's hard to avoid it.
I don't like him.
That I can sympathize with that. Empathize? I just
So
don't
then
like
why
him,
is he
period.
here?
Value.
What
Business, money,
Value.
same reasons I would be here, really, if I were in his position.
I don't honestly think he wants to be here.
Oh.
I think he was just here to deliver what he needed. I just didn't realize it was a person. I suppose I didn't involve myself too much in the personal
Yeah.
tidings
Well,
of the
that's-
SH family.
That's odd because the Ronan has been with us for quite some time at this point.
It's about a week.
About a week.
Week and a half, maybe.
Over, and that seems to be what that plenty of time to say I lost him. It's bizarre to me that he's still here.
Well, admittedly, I while I can't understand what is happening between the Lord and Dickhead himself, I do understand that the Lord is rather upset. At least he has been staying inside of his personal chambers for as long as Dickhead has been here. And I can only assume that whatever this private shipment was to be was rather valuable for one reason or another. And if what you say is true, and if what Dickhead echoed, then, well, if he's been training him for the last year, 2 years, I can't remember what I even heard. I'm sorry, I was enamored by the physician. I didn't owe a favor to him. I owed a favor elsewhere, and, well, he is, what did she say? On call. So, if you will.
So, the Temple of Lamashtu, I think is what we had mentioned. I know it's not exactly a very kind thing to say, but I'm sure that your room is private enough.
There's just certain things that you don't say out loud, and particularly this town. Maybe at one point, but you must understand that, well, Phrasma has her way here, and her listeners are devout. And while I believe personally that Phrasma herself would respect the sight of a lost sister, I do not think that this is the place to hear those terms. I just don't want to stain my reputation.
I fully understand. Don't worry, I don't necessarily care for the talk of gods or whatever. Seen quite a few of them the last couple of days, but again, I don't really care. But let's move on. We were inside one of the tombs at or temple, I guess, and we met a individual inside that was worshipped too. And he's awake now.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm not sure what the name the archivist might call to you, or if that means anything to you at all. It might even be a title, but he seemed to be the chronicler of said individual.
There isn't any doctrines, recordings, history, pamphlet. There's nothing that states that there has been a Temple of Lamashtu within the last over 1,000 years.
Well, it was buried in the sand.
And if what you say is true, then what sort of magic would keep someone alive that long?
I was hoping that you might know that, because the way that we found our ways into the temple was purely by accident, to be honest.
I'm afraid I would need to discover the reagents, the sigils, any runic patterns. I would have to see the location. Do you have the whereabouts?
As far as I can tell, it was, I don't know, probably southeast of the town of the city. There should still be a bullet carcass where we found it. It's
A bullet carcass. What do you mean?
The big thing, like the body,
there's
like the sandwormy. It's big.
Oh,
Very scary.
Oh, are you adventurers?
Well, you were supposed to travel into the necropolis with us at one point, so I would hope so.
We
Well,
are.
When I didn't see from you immediately, I thought you had died. I thought it was some sort of ruse. Plus, you have to forgive
I don't
me.
think Omen would send you on some sort of ruse, really.
I don't know. I couldn't verify that. I couldn't go. You must understand. I am still a trite bit easy to frighten, and you were all coming on so strong. And well, ma'am, you tried to kiss me, and that was sort of, that was where I drew the line. That and the small thing with his genitals out and eating so much cheese.
I do want to take a moment and apologize for that. It was a weird time, and we were very exhausted, and we made many a decision that we would make differently in more sane times. So yes, sorry, I will never try to kiss you again.
I understand. I appreciate that. I'm quite grateful. Not that you're not incredibly beautiful, but that I'm. Forgive me. And she, she's getting a little flustered. She's trying to clean herself up, adjust her clothes. Right. Tell me, please. I need to know where is this place, this temple.
Well, it was the only way that we found it by accident was the bullet, impaled itself upon the top of the statue. Or was it a statue? Top of the temple?
It was a statue on top of the temple. Yes and yes.
Oh, okay. Well then, yes. She remembers more than I do. I was still in very disbelief.
I was on top of the statue at one point, so I kind of, yeah. I think. Yeah.
Is that where you were?
Well, I had to. The bullet was gonna attack me. I had to. I did some. Yeah, it was. I planned it that way.
Well,
what she says is true. Then yeah. I thought none the wiser. I was too busy really just staring at it, hoping it wouldn't hear us.
She moves over and she draws a few bit of the lapelled onion sheets, and she draws a quill, and she asks if you could, would you be able to give her directions, give her a destination? She tells you, forgive me for not immediately believing you, but I need to know. I have to see it for myself. And this has been incredibly costly. I must see for myself.
And that's perfectly fine. I'm to my recollection.
Give me a knowledge geography. That's not bad. That's not bad.
I'm gonna keep it.
Okay. All right. Seems good. You feel like you've given her at least the area. You make sure to say exactly which buildings or area of town that you've left from. You feel like you moved on a pretty straightforward and linear path. You didn't deviate. You even go as far as giving her a small example of what the statue might look like, given that the sand didn't swallow it. You probably even draw what you think is a bullet or a shark at the end of what could be a spine. So you give this to her, and she sees this, and she sort of folds it up and she places it away, like she tucks it into a front pocket of her gown, her outfit, and she says, "Tell me more of this archivist. He told you to come to me?"
Didn't tell me to come to you. No, he told Ronan.
Interesting.
Ronan was the one who was adamant to come and see you, really. I was the one who's telling all of our crew to go to the Temple of Pharasma.
Well, I traded a fairly rare favor for something that clearly has saved your friend's leg. Maybe more if he were to die. Would that mean that you are in my debt?
I would know, because it's not my life on the line. I only came here because it was a favor that he requested.
Then should I be asking him this? It seems as if his hands are a bit full at the moment, given that he is to go to the Asesh family. Even I, while a guest in the home, is not a slave.
What we can do is, provided that he is... This is probably a hard bargain. If we can speak to the Asesh family, then he'd probably be more inclined to offer you a favor. I'm sure that I can come up with some sort of deal or something that might be worthwhile to the Asesh family, especially since they hold on some significant power within the city. I owe quite a deal to both you, Omen, and only the Asesh family, if they're truly willing to agree on said terms.
Perhaps. That's something still for you to speak about with the Lord, and that's even if he'll see you. But given the circumstances, I'm willing to bet that he would. I don't need for you to do much. In fact, at the moment, I don't need for you to do anything for me. But just as I had been banking that favor for a time when I may need it, if I were to need assistance, would you be willing to offer that assistance to me?
Depending on the situation, and of course, even more inclined if there's coin involved.
Of course. What do they say in the West? Money talks.
Well, I don't truly believe that money talks completely. Sometimes money speaks lies.
I think I like that about you. Maybe there is truth there still. Give me a sense motive, both of you.
What am I roasting?
Neferani, you feel like there is some truth to that. You feel like she might be doting on Donkor. You saw before that there was probably a fair amount of that was beginning. Even in her moment of fear, she reached out to Donkor to help her, almost like protect from the mean, scary goblin and the giant burned dwarf. So she seems to have taken an interest. But he is none the wiser. Typical man, right?
Do I sense? Is it just that she's not sweet on him, or is she?
Maybe a little.
Okay.
When you kind of peer over Donkor, he does have rather striking features. He is incredibly handsome. And while you didn't really think much of it before, you might see why someone would find him interesting. Of course, until he mostly opens his mouth, but before then you're like, yeah, that makes sense. He's cute-ish or something.
I'm gonna look from back and look at her and look at him and look at her and look at him and just kind of go. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. And then we'll handle Ronan.
Yay.
No, and that's perfectly fine. It's not even like a burn. It's literally his character dynamic. He's kept himself so far away from people in any way, shape, or form that his entire adult life he's like, ugh, people? I just want money. even Jamara, he was enamored by Jamara, but was still keeping her at arm's length.
Makes sense.
He's like, well, she's kind of pretty, but at the same time, I don't want to die. And what I heard is women might kill me, so.
Well, I mean, to be fair, everything might kill you.
See, but Donkor doesn't know that.
He's a merchant.
Okay.
And recites the rules of acquisition.
Oh, it's true that she's not the daughter. She has been appointed to the family. Like she said, she was a guest in the home, not a slave. So he's all good there. For now. All right. I think I want to do one more scene before I tackle Ronan's scene. I want to give the two of you an opportunity to speak directly to the Lord, or at least see if you can find your way into speaking to the Lord. Sound fair?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you notice that Taryn, she stays rather quiet for a moment. She seems to be kind of thinking things over, and she's just like letting that feeling sort of linger on the room. It's silent, and it's getting a little weird. It's hitting that awkward state. Neff, I think you'd probably be the first to notice that. Do you say anything? Do you stand up? Do you just kind of like lay down? Do you make a big scene of it, or what do you do here?
I will do a really exaggerated stretch, like a
Yes. It is rather comfy in here. Forgive me. Again.
It is.
Let's go to the Lord. Shall we?
Oh, thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's been a very long day already. Thank you. Donkor, are you ready?
Sure. Would he be willing to see us now? I thought you said he doesn't really leave his chambers.
I'm hoping that he might. He has guests, and typically the Lord is at least interested in entertaining said guests. First appearances are rather important to him. It's often how he depicts his business deals.
Oh.
Then by all means, I would love to speak with him, especially, considering I have business deals of my own, whether it be with Ronan or otherwise.
Okay.
So when she says that on the way by, do you think there'd be any like mirrors?
Any mirrors? Yeah, I'm sure there
Yeah.
are mirrors. Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll stop at like the second one, not the first one, but like the second one, and just because she doesn't necessarily read it as like he wants to make a good first impression. She's like, oh, I want to make she took it more as a warning, even
Okay.
though that's not what she said. She's just gonna kind of neaten her ears and
All right.
get all her fur facing in the right direction.
Okay, sounds
Maybe
good.
like de-drool her shoulder so it's not like matted.
Sure.
Right.
That's
As much
that's
as she
good.
can. So like that might look like bedhead a little bit, but
Yeah.
it'll look slightly cleaned up, like
Mhm.
like an effort was made, like the lopsided star. Right.
Okay, perfect. I'm for this. Sounds good. Then let's be off to see this particular person here. Let me see if I can find what I'm looking for. Control F. All right. It appears that the Lord goes unnamed. So chat, this is where you guys get to do something for me. You get to help me name the Lord of the house. So, this is important because it appears that they're going to be doing some deals with the Lord of the house, chat. Help me decide, what is the name of the Lord? Not Vegeta, Jesus Christ.
Farquaad.
Let's lead
Brick Johnson.
let's lead to
Oh.
very old family Wati. Think old Egypt. Lord
Cheetah. Sorry.
Buff Mc
Goku, when I was just a boy. Frieza didn't invite me to his birthday party. You monster frisbee.
What was the family name is Esesh. ESSESH. It's we're definitely not going with Yzma.
It's big, McLarge, huge. I think it's thick. No, it's slab beef steak. So hold on a second.
John Shaft.
Bob Johnson. Sorry, those are the names that were. Have you ever seen Mystery Science Theater 3000?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's an episode called Space Mutiny, and there's a guy in it who every time he runs by the screen, they give him. He's like is this big buff dude. And he's always running, and every time he runs by, they give him a new name. So it's like Hack Blowfist,
Oh
Roll
God.
Fizzle Beef, like the Bob Johnson, Big McLarge Huge, and they just give him like.
Oh my God, that's the one. Yes, I remember that. The one
Yeah.
we said big McLarge huge. Oh my God.
Yeah, and it has the scene with Susan. Remember, because like
Holy
she dies
shit.
in the scene before, and they're like, "Look alive!" Oh, sorry, and they forgot to put the actress in the next scene. Rip steak
Oh,
face.
man.
Rip.
I have to say my
Steak
favorite
face.
one is the one with the alien that like gets sucked inside the vacuum cleaner. Oh my God, it's so good. And then this boy's in a wheelchair and he goes off of a cliff and survives.
Oh yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
I don't
I
think
only
I've
know it
seen
because
that
of
one.
that clip. All right, chat, we've got it. We've got it. I took a couple of those, so
Lord Lamash too. That's it right there.
fear.
How about Matt? Matt
Yeah.
Lamash too.
But he's gonna be.
Hi, I'm Matt.
He definitely looks
Kevin.
like a Dave.
Oh no, it's John Sega. It's John Microsoft. What the fuck?
Barack. What's his name?
Hmm.
Mr. John Sega, please give me video games.
Elaki and Drummers of Souls. I appreciate that. Thank you for the follows. I appreciate that. Okay, I've got it. She leads you to the Lord's quarters. She knocks upon these very, very insanely large doors, like clearly one that was meant for a pharaoh or more so. This person, you can tell, has quite the ego. That their appearance is a grandiose thing. It's an event that is not meant for all times. But she raps quietly upon the door before somebody answers, and it's just a small crack. You hear this like "Wah," as it opens just enough so for them to see through. And I'm assuming that you are not close enough, but she speaks that the Lord has guests, and this person says back something. You can perception this if you like, if you wanted to sort of pick this up.
Who doesn't care?
Misty, do you perception or do you just kind of like let it slide? You just don't care.
No, I think she's really heightened. Let me.
Okay, sure.
perception. Sorry.
Not super great. Did you want to try again?
What time is it? 8:52. Yeah, let's do it. I got plenty of rolls left.
That's better. You managed to pick it up. You catch them say, it's in a hushed tone, but they say, "The Lord is in no mood for company." And she smiles back to you both. She pauses. He should see to these fine few. They have something that may interest him, he says again, hushed. Again, the Lord is in no mood to have guests now. She shifts her stance. The few have brought his warrior from Deked. The door shuts immediately. And she waits. And then she glances back to you. She shrugs. Maybe not. Maybe he's not as interested. And as soon as she says interested, the door swings. And out steps a man. Very... man, how do I want to say this? He's not quite as old as what you would expect out of a lord. Maybe someone that has inherited this. The Asesh family is very, very old. In fact, historically, if you guys recall from the earliest sessions, the Asesh family was believed to have been one of the few families that made it out of the city, of the original city of Wati, before the Plague of Madness hit. Before he ventured back. Well, before his family did. But now that he's here, he stands before you. He has no hair. He has no beard. He's wearing what looks to be some sort of long skirt, but it is girded. And he has a vest. His brows are tapered and thin, angular to make him sort of look villainous or like a hawk. His eyes are very sharp, and his nose is pointed. He's a Garundi man. Darkened skin color. Very broad-chested. But he has thinner arms. Very small, like pelvis in his gait, so he doesn't appear to move like a fighter or a warrior. Yet when he speaks, there is a boom to his voice. You have come to the Asesh family compound to see to me, the lord of the house. You have something
Yes.
for me.
Well, that something's already here being treated by your people, within the house. May we speak for a moment?
Is this place not suitable for us to speak?
I was told that, you do, well, I guess business deals in the comfort of your own quarters.
I trust all those that walk through my halls. We can speak freely here.
Then fine with me. The warrior that you had lost from Deked, or that Dick had lost, or however that happened, is back and in your possession. However, it took some time for that to happen. And he became injured, and he's currently being treated here.
Yes, you've come for a reward. I understand.
I did not come for any reward. In fact, the warrior journeyed with us at one point into the necropolis. We had no idea that he was yours. In fact, we had found him. And as a result, he traveled with us for about a week. I've come to see what your price is for him, or what you paid for him.
You wish to buy his freedom?
Or perhaps barter for it.
The value of his life was not for what he himself is worth, but the value of the lives that he has taken.
Oh, I'm well aware. When the only reason he became injured is because he didn't have his weapon that was taken from him by the very same people who, well, tried to steal you, or sell you to him. Sorry, sell him to you. That's the word. That's the phrase.
You wish for me to place a value upon him now, then?
Or perhaps place a temporary agreement.
And why do I owe you this? Why does... I do not even know your name. You stand before the great lord, Farid Shahar Esesh. And you do not introduce yourself.
Then forgive me, because that's one of the things that I would have done first.
A man
I'm
of
a merchant.
etiquette.
And a name is quite important to a merchant. I'm sure you're aware. My name is Donkor, and the person with me is Neferani.
I give a bow to my head. I'm letting him talk for the moment.
You bow your head, and to each of you, he bows the reverse. He tips his head up, as if to, stick out his chin.
I appreciate you even giving us a moment of your time, because I know that as a lord of any house, much less the Asesh family, you're quite busy. But I was told that you've been locked away in your room for quite some time. And for several reasons, I'd like to inquire why. But that can come later. First, Ronan is very valuable for the lives he's taken. We both can agree on that.
Yes, I was
But
promised a brave and valiant warrior, one that can stand many trials and tribulations.
But unfortunately, it seems to reason that without his blade that he was trained with my axe, he wasn't able to defend his own life and was injured. He fought off 3 orcs. I'm not sure that that's what you were paying for.
The blade is only as valuable as the man who wields it. Yet he cannot aptly wield what this is, you say, an axe. He falls before a mere man from an axe. Yet this sword, what does the sword do for him?
Apparently that's all he's good with.
A very weak tool.
Very strong tool with given the right equipment. And that's where I'd like to begin.
I would like to meet this Ronan. This tool you have described as valuable, unique, and efficient.
He's currently in a quarters. Terran Legaeus can show you which. He's currently being mentored.
I did not. He looks to Terran immediately. I did not agree to summon the physician. She bows her head immediately. Lord Farid, sir, it was a personal favor, and I did not want to disturb you in your quarters. He looks down, almost as if he is sort of figuring out how he's going to aptly punish her. You can tell this. It's like a very disappointed father.
If there's any consolation, I put her in a very awkward predicament, and if it's okay with her, we can share the terms in which the arrangement began. Again, it was an arrangement between her and I, and I'm not sure you would like to know the same.
Terran Legaeus, I will be expunging your wages for the month. And she looks up. Lord Farid. And seeing that he struck a blow. Additionally, and she tries to open her mouth, but she pauses. You will no longer be able to visit the library without the accompaniment of guards. She closes her mouth slowly and immediately dips her head. You notice that her fingers draw up. Since they're resting on her thighs, they draw up into fists. Yes, Lord Farid.
I'm sure that the library is far too great for her. It's part of her business, is it not?
It is not. It is how she has come to find of my tutor and physician.
And isn't her ability to acquisition knowledge far greater than how she came to find the physician?
I fear at this point she is playing above her grade.
And I'm sure that you could use someone like that.
I can,
Someone who,
and I
someone
will.
who,
If she's unhappy, she can leave. She is but a guest here, and I will seek to the mend, and Miss Gotem will assign another.
but I'm sure that there would be no one greater than Terran.
Probably so. But this sounds as if it is her loss. Unless, of course, you would like to pay her wages for the month.
It depends on what the price of the wages are.
She raises her hand to you. That won't be necessary.
No, just
But what if we have something for you that would make her actions seem warranted and in your best interest, which I felt like that was the spirit of her actions.
Give me diplomacy, both of you.
Wow.
Both good. He walks over to Taryn. His hand juts up under her chin, lifting her chin upward. Who did you see to get the permission to summon the physician? And she says, I did, Lord Farid. I did. And says, silence! Insolence! Lies! You did not. The physician and tutor can only be summoned by family. Her eyes turn, and he kind of takes her by the jaw, shaking her head back. Who? Your daughter, sir. Your daughter. He immediately drops his hand to his side and turns, actually like hard turns in this pose of anger. Think, have you seen The King and I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he turns just like that.
I
Like,
think of like Army Men too, but anyway.
So he's full like Yul Brenner.
yes. Oh, yeah.
Got
Hard.
him.
Very well. I will deal with her on my own time. Fine. I rescind your involvement with the Asesh family library, but your wages will be lost. If the others here would care to compensate you, they can, but you will have to find coin from another family for the month. She seems not necessarily delighted, but as if the punishment isn't nearly as bad. And she immediately turns her head down and says, yes, Lord. We can discuss more when I see the value of this man Ronan. This warrior. The kid spoke highly of him. Take me now. Taryn, lead. And he kind of points to the hall. She takes steps. But the camera's going to pull back here for a moment. As the camera pulls back, we peer back to the room. Ronan, you rest on the bed. And where you rest, I have to reload. I have to reload this because I shut off the music and it's still playing. It's brilliant. Where you rest, I'm imagining that you're probably not still chewing on the onion tie.
No.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, that audio, I'm getting it from Roll20. That I'm getting that specifically from Roll20. That's bizarre.
As soon as you did whatever you did, I don't hear it
stopped,
anymore.
Yeah, it's coming from Roll20. Okay.
Yeah, it was like Morse code for 3 hours.
Oh, jeez.
It's
Oh,
back.
no, there it goes again.
It's back. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm not really sure why, but I'm hoping to fix that.
Help me. Roll 20's like, help me.
Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Keep going. Talk for me.
Oh, I was just gonna say there's a chat icon over Neferani. I don't know if that's picking up her mic.
It's well, I mean, it shouldn't be.
I have a chat icon over your.
Yeah, I do too.
Is it
Character.
paused now? Is the sound still on?
I don't hear it anymore.
Yeah, it's gone.
Is it back?
I don't know. I would just say just turn off your audio.
Yeah, I don't know why it turns on. Actually, this is turning on my audio. Because
That's
look
bizarre.
at the bar underneath my icon.
Um,
I had my audio off, and now it's on.
It's fucking bizarre. That's super bizarre.
Isn't it?
I don't
Because that's
hear
why
it now.
I had it off. Because I was like, oh shit. Because when I log in, not only is my audio on, but my video's on from this camera. Like, hi.
yeah,
Over
I'm not seeing it.
I see my video in that window.
Really?
Oh, you
Yep.
can turn all that off in your cogwheel. I would just turn all that off.
Okay. I don't know why it does it.
Mine's permanently off. Roll 20. The magic
Enabled.
make you crazy.
Okay, I went to the cogwheel and it says enabled background chat beep.
Yeah. That's whenever people talk or not, like when they type
Oh,
something.
like
into the
a
chat box.
Discord, like
Yeah.
bloop.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. But I would just turn off, scroll down, and for your chat avatar and stuff like that, just put it to names only, and turn off all your audio because it might just be trying to grab your audio and for some reason doing something fucky. But that's okay. We can handle that in just a second. It's gonna go to Ronan's scene anyway. So, Ronan,
Okay.
you're
Yep.
no longer chewing upon this bit of onion and twine that's vinegar wrapped. So, you were told to stay here. There's no food. There's no people. Deked is not here anywhere, at least as far as you can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, you could try to hear for him, but you don't see him, and there's no one around as far as you can tell. What are you going to do? Are you just going to lay there? Are you going to be a good patient?
The final day here.
I'm thinking because like I'm still in pain from the like quote unquote surgery, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna risk moving my leg. I might sit up and lean against. Is there like a wall I can lean against, or is this bed in the middle of the room?
It's in the middle of the room. Think like an operating table.
Oh, okay. So I guess I'm just gonna stay on the table, and rest.
Okay.
I know that's boring, but I mean, I don't have much else I can do.
Sure. And you can't really roll over.
Yeah, I've got to lay on my back.
Yeah. All right. So maintaining your position.
Mm-hmm.
Do you look around? Are you the kind of person that just like can stare at a wall and find like shapes and shit? Is that do you think what Ronan might do in his
Me
in his,
personally, yes.
What about Ronan?
I think Ronan would look around the room though, like he would look at like his surroundings and try to observe as much as he can
Okay.
take in because he's not exactly comfortable. Like he just woke up to Dickhead being like right there and then being strapped to a table and having to bite down on onion
Sure.
and being cut open and have leeches all over him.
Yeah.
So he's not exactly
Give
I don't
me
know,
a perception,
comforted.
please. Seeing that you're in a foreign place, knowing that you could potentially become a slave again.
How many rerolls do I have? I rerolled once, right?
I think at max twice.
I'm gonna reroll that.
Okay.
Fuck it. It's late.
That's fine. That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough. As you're laying there, feeling this table around you, the cloth beneath you while it's soft, you're still laying on a very hard surface, but it's not the worst for you. Things weren't all that great in Western Galarian, and, well, to be honest, when you became a slave, while things were hard, things were rough, you were still given things that you enjoyed. You were given foods when you succeeded. You had access to weapons of your choice. Deked brought you art because it inspired you. You never got to keep it, at least on your person. Not that you'd want to run that into battle yourself, but you notice that about the room. There's no art. There's nothing beautiful here. There's nothing inspiring. Everything is laid out to nearly surgical perfection. It's daunting. It seems very bleak in nature. But something does catch your eye. You focus on it, and you don't think much of it. Sand. Sand is falling from a small split in the wall.
Kind of like on your scene over my head.
Sort of, yeah. It just seems to be dropping. Do you sort of pull yourself to the edge of the table to see where it's dropping to? Do you look at the floor?
Yeah. No, I try to see where the sand is coming out and collecting.
Sure. You pull yourself forward to the edge of the table. It's not very hard for you. You're not very heavy and you're incredibly strong. But as you begin to pull yourself, you see that the sand, while it's been pooling up, you have no idea for how long it's been there. You're not really sure what purpose it serves. The rest of this room is incredibly clean. Like I said, surgical perfection. Everything is in order. Everything in perfect location. Until you notice the sand begin to stir. Begin to move. It's very bizarre at first. But you seem fixed upon it. And you notice it. A hand manifests from the sand. Very, very clean, almost alabaster in nature. Like it's never kissed the sun. Pull its way from the ground as it lifts out of the sand, showing an arm. Like someone's trying to crawl from a hole.
What was in that onion?
Do you rub your eyes?
Yeah, I would probably rub my eyes and do like a double take almost.
You rub your eyes, you double take, you glance over your shoulder, there's nobody in the room. And as you continue to watch, you see that it's real. It's as real as it can be. Now, you've seen some bizarre things. Some very bizarre things. But this, nearly unexplainable. And the room itself seems to almost sap of energy. Not like when the apparition yelled, but more like whatever this is drawing upon the energy of the room. The lights dim. You notice one torch flickers, and that's pure magic, my friend. Ever burning in nature. And then you can see it in full manifestation. A bit of armor. Laced up green as it pulls forward, and it seems familiar as you focus. You know this person. His jaw steeples out of the sand, and an eye appears.
Oh god, it's a bossy.
And then the rest of his head. As a second arm cracks out and gets to the floor, and he starts to pull his body from the sand. Starts to dust himself off, pull the sand from his beard. And then he looks to you. Looks around. Well, it seems as if you got yourself in a spot of trouble. Where are you anyway? Where should take me?
Well, what?
Why do you fucking stutter? Where are we? Where should take me?
Sorry, I had to.
How the hell did you get in here?
Look, I don't know how she works, okay? She just... Listen, I've had my eyes opened, all right?
Yeah, sure.
And she's capable of a anything. And, well, she saw someone that said that she might have some information on you. And, well, I said I'd be bad if the little guy was locked up. And, well, I thought it couldn't happen. So I asked her for this one thing. It's a small gift. But you've got to agree to take it.
Oh shit.
She said it's a shoo-in. It's perfect. You'll find your way out of this in no time. No binds at all.
Yeah, but you just came out of sand.
I know. It's so strange, but it's weird times. You must understand. It's not all that bad. It's not all that bad. And you have the shit she say. It's not that crazy. The Pharaoh guy, he's the right dick. Why did if half of it is even true? He deserves what's coming to him.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you say.
Well, listen. From what she said, you are about to be claimed. Someone's going to take you. And
Yep.
more than just away. They might just take your life. So, you have to take a title.
Okay. What is this title?
I don't know what it says. Well, okay, I lied. I know what it says, but I have to see it first. I don't know what it says yet. But it's like my title. Right? So, like, see here. And he points up to his head.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember what we talked about? Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, we had plenty discussions when we were throwing meat.
Right, so it's Akintepe's thief and Akintepe's liar. And, well, you have to take a title. You would be her something. But I can't tell you what it is because I can't read it yet.
And that'll get me out of here.
Oi, yes. It's by a possession. You belong to someone else.
Yeah, but if she gives me a title,
She doesn't... I know what you're going
wouldn't
to say.
I belong to someone else again?
Yes, but she doesn't want you. It's a favor to me. She said, I told her, look, I took a chance on you, and because I took a chance on you, you have to do this one thing for me. And we had some good times.
Yeah, we had good times.
It was brief, but admittedly, it is... Well, I don't want to see you die. So, you can take this, and it's just got free for now. But it's your call.
And where would she take me?
Well, she won't be taking you anywhere. You'll be free. You don't belong to anyone. You better hurry, because the offer is about to rescind. You look, and the sand is starting to pull back up to the wall.
Dude,
He looks back.
one of us. I knew it was coming.
As you're making that decision,
Yeah,
he looks over your shoulder, and you hear footfall.
I'll take your offer.
Aye, right. I thought you would. This is the good part. And, like, he spits into his hand, warms it up, and he fucking slaps the shit out of your face. just bap! And just slaps you right in the face. And
As if. Go ahead.
it immediately sends, like, this searing burn over your head. Well, that smarts, doesn't it?
Yeah, it felt great. You know,
Take
the leg was good.
2
but
points. 2 points. It's burning.
How much did we get for sleeping? Because I know that we slept.
If
How
you had
much
a
do
full
we-
rest, you got your Constitution score.
Constitution.
Yes, not your modifier. Typically, it's supposed to be modifier, but
Okay, so
You're heroic.
14. I'd be at 30 minus 2 would
Yeah.
be 28. Okay.
and he walks up close to you. He's like, sit still. I have to read it. And his eyes kind of focus on you for a moment, getting real close.
Does this help?
Oh, that's nice. I like that. I don't. She might need you.
What does it say?
I
What does
don't-
mine, dude? What does mine say?
Are you sure you want to know?
Yeah.
Are you sure
Yes.
you want to know? Well, I'm assuming if you know, Neferani and myself are the thief and the liar, then you are Akintepe's. And he takes his finger, runs it across your forehead, and he says, "Rage."
Like mad? Like rage?
I don't know. I don't know what this means. She could just call upon me, but all that she's been able to do with it so far is, listen. She talks to me from time to time, and that's about all I know from it. All right. So, times I have to go. Sorry. We'll speak again later. I hope. Good luck not dying now that
Yeah,
you're.
sure.
And his foot begins to pull back to the sand, and it starts to immediately crumble away. He's like, that doesn't feel good. And you can see it sort of falls back to the pile. And the ever-burning torch seems to kick back on. The room no longer feels like this vacuum of pressure. And the footfall stops. There's a man standing in the doorway. Do you look back to him whatsoever?
Do I look back to the doorway?
Yeah, do you look
No,
back?
I lay down like nothing happened.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
just
perfect. That's what I needed. You lay down just like nothing has happened. The man pauses in front of you, Neferani, and Donkor. He looks back. Is this some kind of joke?
Unfortunately not. This is the one that Dickhead was trying to sell you, and this is the one that I saw fell many orc. And, well, was on a cart with me as we saw a bullet impale itself, but that's another whole other story in itself. This is very one and the same.
This is no man. It is a boy. What am I to do with a boy?
It's what he told me. He's a goblin.
He's not really human.
Yeah.
And by not really human, I mean he's not human.
He
I'm
walks
not
in.
human either. I mean, it's clearly not an insult. No, I mean humans are great.
He walks in like he completely just writes off everything that you've said, especially since you're like, he's a goblin. You see, he's very interested in this. He has no idea what a goblin is, perhaps, or maybe he's just never seen one and he's heard it.
He really likes cheese. So if you want to see him get really excited, give him some cheese. It's actually kind of delightful. Just saying.
He's not sure what to think of that, but if there's any merit or truth to it, you hear him like, he gets that poke in his chest. He goes, "Guard, bring the Lord some cheese." And the guard steps off immediately.
In my head, now this dude looks just like Yul Brynner. Like, this is him. He's wearing like balloon pants and a sash and a poofy, like open chest shirt. And he's bald and he's just.
Yes. Yeah.
And I feel like going to put on a big blue dress. Let's do it.
Perfect.
I sit up like I was woken up from the dead when I hear the word cheese.
He hears you stirring on the table, and he looks at you and says, "You are a goblin. Goblin. This is what I've said."
I'm a goblin with the G. Goblin.
You're a goblin or a goblin?
A goblin.
A goblin.
Now I'm saying it weird in my head. Goblin.
This warrior sounds funny. Does he always speak this way?
Yeah, he does. He was actually Ronan, you said you were taught, right? You were taught to read or something, right?
Yeah, I can read.
Yeah, so he's actually not stupid, which, funnily enough, I thought he was when I first met him, and he's quite intelligent.
A warrior that can read? Can he take instruction?
Sure.
Stand, warrior.
Oh, I can't stand.
His leg is currently what's being mended.
My leg is scuffed.
Then stand on one leg.
And I'm not sure your physician would like that.
The physician answers to me. Stand on one leg.
I guess I'm gonna hobble to 1 foot and stand on one leg.
You have a choice here. You can, no, you don't. You don't have a choice. You have to give me an acrobatics.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I know this well.
Okay, that's good. That's good enough. You push off, and it takes you a moment. You sort of wobble, but you are standing. You have your leg crooked in a way that is not bending it, but it still keeps it like outward, so it doesn't actually do anything to the leeches. He peers. He walks around the table, sort of sizing you up and down. You feel fingers grab at your palms, and then fingers grab your ears. And then he sort of lifts your hand. Why are his arms so much bigger than the rest of him?
I don't think he knows the answer to that question either.
I kill things a lot? I don't know.
This is still yet to be seen. And then he comes to your face after looking at your ears and your arms and the rest of you. Seeing the scars, obviously you've seen a fair amount of combat. And then he stops in front of the table. His eyes focus directly on your eyes. And his brow begins to tighten. You see that spot between the eyes and the nose right here just become this withered bit of meat. Not even really tangible to what it is. The anger that raises over his face. He throws his arms down and he goes, "Dickhead!" It shakes the walls. This man was meant to command. You hear running. Guards. Clanging, something falls to the floor. The sound, like the sound of weapons being drawn. That clanging noise, that was your cheese tray.
Oh, rip. Do I know that it was my cheese tray?
You probably have a good idea.
I'm sad.
The guards come in and they begin circling the room. Their feet, the footfall seems to stain the steps. Your surgical perfection is now marred. Dickhead stands in the doorway. "Yes, Lord Farid. What is it that you have called me for, sir?" "You were to have brought me a warrior that is owned by no one." He goes, "And I have, sir. I brought you the perfect being for your task." And he moves his body out of the way, points to your head. "Then what is this?" Neferani. Donkor. You can see there is ancient Osirian burned into his head, just like Abasi's, and to match yours, Neferani, but it is in different text.
It is what? Oh, different text.
It is different text.
Are any of the letters similar to my letters?
No. Right?
That wasn't on
One
his-
letter would be the same, wouldn't it? If it's one for one.
Well, Neferani's the thief.
Yeah. Rage.
E, yeah.
The E.
There
yeah.
might be some symbolism that you might think is the same, but if Abasi was
No.
here, you might be able to compare,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not sure.
Okay. I will, without thinking of it, kind of touch my head and then pull my
You realize that you've been wearing a cowl over it since.
right, but I'm just gonna I touch like the outside. I'm not gonna move it up and be like, oh wow, woo,
Right.
here's mine. Although that's not outside of her purview either.
That
But-
wasn't on his head before. Dickhead, what'd you do?
I didn't do anything. I wasn't even here.
Well, we weren't here. We were with the Lord.
Then I suppose you should ask him. Ronan.
Yo.
I have a few to vouch for my whereabouts. And they were with the Lord.
I was here the whole time just laying in bed.
Then who's come to see you?
No one.
Then
Do I
the
have to
mark
roll?
on your
Go ahead.
then the mark on your head. Where did it come from?
I need
It's-
I need a bluff from
Yeah,
Ronan.
I was gonna say.
I was going to see if you were going to throw that bluff before I had to call for it.
No, I have a -3.
This is beautiful.
Come on.
That's not too bad.
All right. I need a sense motive from Neferani, from Donkor, from the Lord, from Dickhead, and from Terran.
He's so cute. He's telling the truth. Everything's adorable.
Here is Dickhead. Here is Terran.
Oh,
Here is the Lord.
really?
Oh,
Those rolls.
A 19 plus 9.
How do you think he stays in politics? The
Well,
man
true.
is really good at reading people, commanding the room.
I rolled an 18, which is I rolled an actual 10.
You know, Donkor, you know that he's lying. Neferani, none the wiser.
Huh?
He looks like he's telling the truth.
He's so adorable.
Dickhead believes you. Taryn doesn't say anything, but the Lord turns to you now. Who came to see you? Try to lie again.
I don't know if it was the medicine or what, but I don't think you'd believe me.
Dickhead says, sir, give me your jambaya. Sir? And he raises his hand. Dickhead comes up, gives him the jambaya. He puts it in his dominant hand. Try me.
Okay, whatever you say. Somebody came out of the wall. Yeah, somebody came out of the wall.
Who?
A dwarf.
A dwarf.
Yeah, a dwarf.
Wait a minute. Wait, did you say a dwarf?
Like our dwarf?
Your dwarf.
Yeah.
Are you
Well,
owners
like our
as well?
friend.
we
our
we
friend.
we traveled with a palmet once before.
Oh, a
Yeah,
palmet.
it was known. I don't want to hide things from you. Trying to be, make sure that
The story is that he's disappeared. I saw him. He was gone. There's no way he could have been here. There's no way he would have even made it inside without us. How?
Well, he came out of the wall, and he came out of the wall.
wait, like the actual wall?
Like the actual wall.
Was it like magic or was it like what's going on? What?
I don't know magic. All I know is he came out of the wall and he was talking to me and then he left.
Was he dead? Like, was it a ghost? I hope he's not dead.
Oh, like that guy that helped me? No, he was no ghost. He just came out of the wall.
Donkor's speechless.
He looks to the guards. Scour the grounds. Find this palmet. Find him now. All of the guards immediately shuffle out of the room, with an exception to a single woman. She seems to mirror the Lord's movements, just from far enough away. She doesn't seem to have that much in the way of weaponry on her, though she does have a whip upon her person.
Yeah, I'm the most terrified of that woman. But of anyone I think I've ever met in this entire game. Immediately, she will fuck my shit up. So I think, like, I don't even like. Even if she won't, but that's like the immediate impression just from that. Like, is there any sand left on the floor? Like, can I go investigate? Like, which wall was it?
That wall.
Can I go and like look? Like,
Sure, you totally can.
Can I sit down? I'm gonna sit down because
Sure.
I've been standing on one leg for like
Sure. That's
this
fine.
whole time.
If you want to go back to laying down, that's just fine.
what do I roll?
In this case, it's a perception. You already have an idea, so I'm going to give you a circumstantial bonus.
Right.
Okay, that's good. You seem to sort of scour the spot to see what you can find. It doesn't look like there's anything short of a crack in the wall, but when you look down, there's not a pool of sand. However, you do notice something. While nobody had stood over here, in this particular spot, there is a single grain of black sand. Single grain. And the only reason that you can see it is because the glass floor, it shows it. There's a reflection that sort of bounces from rim to rim.
All right. I'm going to go around like the back of it. So I'm facing the Lord, but like around it. So it's clear I didn't touch it or do it. And like point at it and say, what is that? That's the black sand. Could we have tracked it in?
I didn't stand over there, but we came in the first time, so no, there's
I didn't stand over there.
how often is this place cleaned? Could it have come in when the spire rose?
Could the doctor have brought it? Or Dickhead?
The Lord is just furious at this point, and he moves up to Deked, and he sort of grabs him by the front of his tunic, and he has the jambaya, and he seems to like point the hook of that jambaya into Deked's cheek, just above his cross scar. And Deked, like, he puts his arms out as you see the woman move up to sort of mirror the motions of the Lord, watching the way that he stands, and then she keenly watches Deked. Deked notices this as well. I paid you to bring me a warrior, one that was unscathed, unclaimed, and willing to fight. You brought me someone who is owned. Lord Farid, I promise, as they can vouch, that was not there previously. This happened on your compound. He is still yours. Title or not, or whatever that burn is on his head. This happened on your dime, on your time, and in this place. And that is not my problem. I'm free and clear. Unless you'd like to go over the terms of our contractual obligations. There's hesitation. The Lord drops the jambaya, and he walks out. The woman takes a step after him, and she seems to almost like, she kicks the jambaya to one foot, and then as she does, she like rear kicks it up and then catches it and passes it back to him as she walks out the door. Think like a professional soccer move.
Yeah, I was gonna say a soccer player kicking the ball up.
Mhm.
Yeah, but with a sword.
It's probably like that big. It's just a dagger, more or less.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a decorative piece more than anything. Sometimes used as sacrificial, but it's not really that incredibly effective in combat. A lot of people would much rather use a longer blade. Deked goes, "Whew. That was intense."
That was impressive what she did with that dagger. You sure you didn't put that on his head?
I don't even know what the hell that says.
Neither do I. I've
Yes.
seen the marking before, but it was from the same palmet that he's describing, but
Ronan,
it doesn't make sense.
now that you're no longer my problem, and he's got to pay me in full. Interest. What's it say? Any idea?
Oh, I have no idea. Is it bluff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to get one.
That's for everyone in the room.
Wow.
You did. You got one.
You got one.
Oh, that's
And reroll.
fucking funny. You got your one, lad.
God damn it.
Oh,
And reroll. It was on a 20!
oh my God! Oh, Jesus Christ!
That's the best roll I've ever seen.
You got a -1. You know what, lad? That's
I'm
fucking
never
perfect.
bluffing anything ever.
I
My
But
char- my
I understood
charisma-
that reference 100% though.
Oh, fucking
Uh,
beautiful, man. Thank you for
You're
that.
welcome.
I didn't.
I'm the first one to roll a -1 in this entire game.
Is that
Fucking
true?
perfect.
hmm
Oh, that's beautiful. All right.
I've never
I
seen a
think-
negative from
I
anything.
think that's right. Yeah.
I think, yeah. I mean, I can't remember one or a negative one.
you hear Deked. Bullshit. You've never been good at lying.
Nah, I don't think you were ever really good at lying either. I caught every single one. Now listen, what does it say? Because I sure as hell don't know.
I don't know. The dwarf talked fast and really weird. He said it meant rage.
Oh,
One brow goes up on Deked. Fitting. Well, I would recommend that you don't immediately leave the compound. At least until the Lord figures out what he's going to do with you.
and he
I will
still
say
has to
this
get his
much.
legs fixed.
He needed someone that was capable of adapting, that was capable of being ferocious and killing without remorse. I told him he should just hire some sellswords, but he said he needed one. A trial of sorts. You got me out of your hair. That's what you wanted. I understand. I'm not even mad. But I think I'm going to stick around a while. I like some of the things that are happening in this city. Things are spicy. But the Lord, Farid, well, he's not too happy, but according to some of the laws of old, at least from what I've understood, there's not a whole lot that he can do about you. So I think technically, if he wants to use you, he's got to buy you off whoever owns you, or he's got to employ you as his sellsword.
Hell
I
yeah.
think that's the perfect place for me to barter with.
Well, I say good luck. It won't be that hard. But
Now it's
whatever he's
become
going to put you through,
Rent-A-Center.
it ain't going to be fun.
Rent a goblin.
Nothing's going to be easy. If a man with that kind of money and that kind of power comes a calling, well, everybody listens. So, I wish the best to you. You could find me in town somewhere, dealing with various few. And I think I'm going to see to what I can happen to discover upon myself. In that brief time that I stepped away, some of my acquaintances returned with some information. I think I'd like to make a personal visit. I'm going to see this Cade. Seems like a lovely fellow. Pretty much anyone who speaks positively of you, Mr. Donkey, he seems that he's tied to you quite interestingly so. And he's got a reputation himself.
We sell quite a bit together, yeah.
Wonderful. And for you, Miss Neff, well, I hear that your father is quite respected in the circle that he stands, and I like to know men of power. This is, by no means am I saying that this is a threat to anyone. I just like to meet the man. That's all.
I could even introduce you to Cade myself, really.
I appreciate that, but I think we'll be running into each other. Sooner before later, of course.
I'm sure. Just don't kill him. He's quite useful.
I am befouled again. I have no intentions to kill anyone. Well, I mean, unless they try to kill me.
He's a
You understand how
loudmouth,
that
so
goes.
he'd probably wind up dead of his own accord, really. That's why I'm kind of saying, don't kill him. Even if he's a loudmouth, he's usually just running his mouth.
Merchants do as they see fit. Anything they can to drive up the price or the amount of coin that falls into their pocket. I'm not mad. I understand as a businessman myself. But with that, I'm off. I'll not be welcomed here much longer. In fact, I think after I collect my coin, I'll be thrown out. So I'm going to go pack the few things that I brought along. And I will let you know that nobody knows where your sword is.
Great.
Someone else is probably trying to nab you.
Yep.
They said, from what I saw, there was a marking similar to your belt that was on the chest of our friend's armor.
Well, nothing's ever come back. But I do have a few people in town that were looking for you. Wait, did you kill him? We do have one that's missing.
What, my friend? The one that had the armor?
No. The one that was taking you. Did you kill him?
Oh, the Ronan did. Those are the orcs.
Yeah, I killed the orcs. Remember we said this earlier.
I didn't hire no orcs. Whom I hired was a bit of an older man. A man of the sands. Garundi. You do remember there was a man. It was a man that you shot several times. It was actually not even Ronan that killed him.
Yeah, it was the
It was
arrows.
you, Donkor. You killed him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
that's right. If he was there, I didn't look at the bodies, so.
Well, that's a shame. But if he's not alive, he can't collect the coin. So, it's not that I'll be bothering too much with it. It seems that he's been found anyway, and he's in good health. All is well. So good luck to you. We'll see each other in time. He leaves. And this is where we'll end tonight's session. Do you have any talk, anything that you'd like to say between the three of you? Since it's just you and Taryn.
Are you sure you saw Bossy Ronan?
Yes. He came out of the wall and he turned into a person. And then he told me that he's working with the lady god person.
Fucking Tepe.
Yeah, that one. He said that it was a favor, and that's why it was here.
Well, he's collecting favors now from gods that really shouldn't exist, so. I guess he's moving up in the world. Anyway, I guess that's, I don't trust it.
Taryn doesn't say
Something-
anything. She remains quiet the entire time.
Something about my gut. And it's not been wrong this entire time. I don't think this is a good idea. I don't think you should have listened to him.
Why is that?
I don't know. I don't really know what it is. It's just a gut feeling, I guess.
Fair enough. But now that I have the mark, I don't have to be a slave again.
I mean, I guess that's a bonus to you, but he said you're owned. So you're owned to someone else. You're still a slave in some way.
Better a slave to a god than a lord.
Oh, well, I wonder what Lamashtu would say.
Oh, shit. And that's where I'm going to, like, just blank face.
Yeah, that's a good place to stop. Anything from Misty though? Anything from Neferani?
No, she's gonna hedge. She's not really up for showing it off right now.
You seemed pretty disturbed at the mention of your father.
Do not like that guy anyway. And do not want him in my business.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair assessment. All right,
It was, yeah.
perfect. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and start moving on out so we can get into our post show. So I'm gonna pass this over immediately to. We'll start with Donkor. We've got the man, the myth, the legend, Mark himself. Tell us about you, buddy. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
Yo, what's up, guys? My name's Donkey, coming at you live from Shrek 5, the movie.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section letting me know how you think Shrek 5 will go.
But my name is Mark. You guys can find me on twitch.tv/Mark. I'm gonna be playing a lot of Phantasy Star Online 2. This has like been my dream game for a while. I've been like trying to find a home on Twitch. But now that this is coming out in North America for the very first time, I'm your go-to guy for info. So hit that follow button, come hang out. I would love to have you. But of course, not when Bub's live, because you support this man. Because if you support this man, that means I can keep doing the show, except for next week because I'm playing Phantasy Star. But I like the show, so I want to keep playing it. Cool.
Truth. All right. Got her Lady Luck, Neferani.
Yeah, sorry, my knee hurts and I'm old.
I'm sorry.
Um,
Imperial, tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
I'm doing poorly. My knee hurts.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like seriously, it hurts. There are wolves after me. I don't stream anymore. I'm a has-been. So you can find me Tuesday nights at twitch.tv/TheBubbernaut.
She makes good cookies.
I do make fucking good cookies. I do. I'm not a retired streamer. I have seriously scaled back my hours because if you don't know, I got a full-time job, which is awesome
What's a job?
for legal
What's a job?
reasons. It's awesome. I don't know. To be fair, it's where I get a regular paycheck in healthcare. So
Wait a minute.
it's different than Twitch in many ways.
It's nice.
You made someone
Where's my,
cookies
like-
and I didn't get any.
My hi hat on it. So anyway, I do still stream. I'm streaming tomorrow night. I'll be playing Rust because I have a fucking problem with Rust. I go back to it. It's like the Mafia. I thought I was out, but they pulled me.
They pulled you right back in.
So
Yeah.
if you want to play, that includes you, Bub. The server is mine. Any shitlords get immediately banned. There's no zero tolerance for shitlords, so you can just shoot people in the face with immunity.
Nice.
And without wondering, does this person deserve it? The answer is no, they don't. But do it anyway. Yeah, there you go.
Well,
Please
thank you.
follow and subscribe, Bub. And if you like it, if you like what you see, leave a note in the comment section, right? Because that's what this is YouTube, right? We're live. on
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's not live on YouTube, but it will be up in 24 hours for sure. Oh, by the way, Misty, I'm gonna need those cookies stat because
Yeah.
my fail.
I won mine, and I loved them.
Yeah, you know what? You know why he won his? Because he came and subscribed to me.
I did.
He was like, cookies, bam, let me drop some subs.
Fuck.
Hell
That's
yeah.
exactly what I heard too, bro.
It's exactly what it was. He like basically came in, like dropped some subs, was like, I'm out for a while, be back. And then he went to cookies.
How's that work?
And I respect it. Streamers are hard workers. Y'all have busy lives. I mean, I'm sending you both cookies. I don't,
Perfect.
I was at work and I
Still
was like,
kind of-
cookies? Fuck it. Why not? I got some extra
Right?
money for now.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll have to, you know what? If I send
really
the
don't,
two
but
of
it
you
was worth it.
cookies, then I have to send Mark another.
You know
batch
what?
of
You know what you
cookies.
should do? You should start trading
But this is-
cookies. You should start trading cookies for subs. One cookie for every sub gifted. I mean, you could be real fucking busy making cookies, but what if someone's like, "Here's a hundo. Here's 100 subs."
Do you know how many cookies? That's. Did I get
Somebody
a
just
follow?
subbed.
What's just happened? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I was like, wait, I forgot my. I haven't. Thank you for the sub, Fear. Sorry, my lights go off when people do shit, and it usually doesn't happen during this. So I'm like,
Fear, you're a fucking champ. But anyway.
you are. Fear is the MVP, but I forgot because again, I used to stream 6 days a week, and now like every day you're off of Twitch. By the way, is a month. A week. No, every day is a week. Every week is a month.
Yeah.
Every month is a year.
100%.
It to like normal people time.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
It's
for
wild.
sure.
Oh,
It's-
and now
it's
people
happening.
just want to make. Oh no! Don't make my lights go crazy.
All right.
Oh,
We got
Thanks.
Ronan. Ronan is played by RyutheRed. Tell us about you, buddy. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/RyutheRed. I've been playing a lot of Elder Scrolls Online. It's been really nice to find a community that's really supportive and helping me relearn the game, because when you go from one MMO to another, it's almost like you forget everything completely. So I'm fumbling through that, but I've been pretty consistent recently, so I'm proud. So new place, if you couldn't tell.
There's a whole lot less Vegeta and Goku.
it's less purple.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing?
It's happening. See? You said subs and cookies in the same sentence. That's what they do.
Is the purple coming back? Like, I mean, I know I don't want to rub salt in the wound if it's like a sensitive thing because you can't do something. Because I don't know
What?
a lot about your house. Like, I just know that you're not super happy. But I think it looks great behind you.
Oh yeah, no, I can bring the purple back. I just gotta find where to put the lights and stuff. It's a weird room.
Well, you guys know about me already. I'm Bub. I tell stories and stuff, play video games. Tomorrow we're going to wrap up Doom and then do episode 177 or 78 of Shackled City, where there's bound to be a confrontation between an ancient Emperor Sovereign Wraith and the party, who has currently, the Wraith has dominated their barbarian and given him tireless rage. So this is fine. It's going to be bizarre. Super bizarre. A lot of good times. Yeah. Awesome. We're going to go do that after show, guys. Love your faces. We'll talk to you later. Make sure you check out all of the social stuff right there. There's the Discord, which is free. The Facebook updated daily. The Twitter, which gets my bizarre ramblings and questions more often than not. The Instagram, getting me a lot more coming through there. In the short, the long and the short of it is that buying a house sucks. So I've not been able to update that. YouTube, all this stuff gets backlogged there. The Patreon, it keeps the stream alive, keeps the dream alive. So go support. Check out any level. Earn some dope rewards. Stuff that you couldn't do typically.